Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot. Now this is a general reading for the new moon in Gemini. So May the 22nd. Well, depending where you are. I think it might be the 23rd somewhere, but I think mainly the May the 22nd, depending where you are in the world. Now, this is quite a complicated new moon, so I'm not going to dive into the astrology for it greatly, because there's loads of professional astrologers here on YouTube who have done it so much better than me. And if you want to see their interpretations of it, there's a link down below for my for the Facebook group for this channel, and I post all of their videos there as well. Now, this is a bulk introduction, so you can watch more than one of them, because watch your sun, watch your moon, watch your rising, like I say every single time. And if you don't know what your moon and rising are, there's a link down below as well for a free birth chart. It's really important to watch your rising, because then you also know what house the new moon or whatever event is occurring in. As long as you know what your rising or ascendant is, that'll explain a lot. Right, so being a general reading rules apply. If there's another person who features in here, which don't often, but it does happen, roles can be reversed. I can assume I'm talking about them and I'm talking about you, and vice versa, because the cards don't come with name tags. Timing is hardly absolute. This is a weird new moon, because you could say its energies last for 2 weeks, because the full moon is a lunar eclipse. So that will supersede the new moon energy. However, new moons set things, they plant things, they start the creation of things. So there's a cycle from this new moon in Gemini to the full moon in Gemini, which I assume is about 6 months down the line. I assume they're about 6 months away. Are they? Yeah, I'll assume. I'm sure it's not. No, it's about a month away, isn't it? Anyway, I'll work that out later. Brain is obviously not firing on all cylinders right now. Like I say, general reading. However, this reading either is for you or it isn't, because it does have a bit of a past and a present. So if the past and the present don't fit, it's a Celtic cross spread. It's the way I read. It's not really a take what resonates, leave the rest. It's either take the lot or don't. But what I would like you to do is ask a question beforehand. So pause the video if you have to, take a moment to think about all of the questions that surround you. Focus on one of them, because energy in, energy out. Basically you focus, hopefully gives the reading energy, and I return that to you in the reading. But be aware of all of the questions, because the cards will answer whatever they please to, and not necessarily what you and I think is the most important question. Now back to this new moon in Gemini. It is a moon that is seeking to find the truth. It is the Gemini energy is one that likes to look at things from both sides, take things to bits to examine it, separate them so they can join them back together again. But at the same time, we've got Venus retrograde square Neptune, plus we've got all the other retrogrades that are occurring, Saturn, Jupiter, all of those that are going on, so that you need to be aware that really it's truth that's close to home. It's personal truth that you are trying to find. And also, what is true right now might not still be true in 2 or 3 weeks' time. However it works, it might not still be true. So it's personal truth in the moment, living in the now. That's always a good new age hippie concept, isn't it? Living in the now. And I think this new moon in Gemini certainly is going to give us an opportunity to examine our nows and see, are we really living in it, and what do we want to change if we are? Okay, so that's enough waffle out of me. Like I say, look at the astrologers videos in the Facebook group. Now, in that Facebook group, you can message me directly if you want a personal reading. You can also message me through Twitter and Tumblr. The details are down below. Other than that, please press the like button if you like the reading, or the subscribe button. Definitely the subscribe button. It really helps the channel, or as Namaste TV call it, the Google politics. But let me shut up now and bring up the cards for you. Right then, Aries, and welcome Aries Rising and Aries Moon after the timestamp if you've just joined us. Now, the situation that you're in, I'm almost getting the feeling like you're highly tempted to throw in the towel. We have the Hanged Man for the dominant energy of the read. The situation that you're in, everything's looking weird, nothing's making sense, nothing's going right. There's a huge urge to cut things out, with clarified by the Queen of Swords here. And opposing this, we have the Eight of Cups, which is also on the bottom of the deck here, which indicates that you're really quite tempted just to walk away. We have both Eight of Cups appearing here. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus a little bit. It did focus about 2 seconds ago. There we go. But this is also something that's opposing you. So I'm feeling that quite possibly there's something that you are tempted to walk away from, that you see that you should walk away from, and you're not necessarily in a position to walk away from, because you need to look at what commitments you have got yourself stuck to. At the bottom here, the ground of the matter, we have the Devil with the Four of Wands. So beware of taking on board any new commitments right now. I would say that that's quite possibly a bad idea while you're in that time of the Hanged Man, and also while we're in the time of Venus retrograde, to be quite honest. And what is it, Venus squared Neptune as well helps add to the confusion and add to the murkiness. Just clarifying this Devil card as I like to. Six of Wands, Seven of Wands. You can have, okay, that changes it slightly. There is a victory to be had if you really want it. But with the Seven of Wands, there's that sense of defense, which is also echoed on the bottom of the clarification deck with the Four of Pentacles. It's almost like, what do I do to defend what I'm wanting to defend? What I believe is mine, because I can't stay, but I can't go. Now, I'm not saying I found an answer to that question just yet, but let's keep reading. So what the divine is bringing in for you, or spirit, or, you know, the crown of the situation. We have the Four of Cups in the top deck, given the slogan luxury, with the Ten of Cups. Now, this boredom that you're feeling is a clue on where to, you know, to look elsewhere to be happy. There is going to be guidance coming with the Four of Cups. It is guidance leading you to a happier place. We are also, from the Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle, you'll notice if you watch the shuffle video, cards were flying out of the Oracle decks for you. There are only supposed to be one from each one, bar that one. We have the Playful card, and we have the High Priestess of Fire. Now, the Playful card speaks for itself, really. Be playful, have some fun, relax, mess around. The High Priestess of Fire is saying be creative, but don't be impulsive. Spend your energy in some form of creative pursuit, some form of doing something differently. Even if it's just a matter of taking your mind off of this current situation. I believe either the creative act will inspire some thoughts in you, or it will, you know, if it's a group activity, well, that's unlikely during the lockdown, but if it is some form of more group activity, there could be connections to be made purely from the idea of just doing something creative and channeling that energy, because at the moment it does appear to be damned if you do, damned if you don't, which seems awkward. But you have got rid of the majority of the worries and concerns that have been going on recently. We've got Ten of Swords here in the past, although I do feel that you're still stressing about them. with the Eight of Swords. Now, given the world's current financial situation, I don't say that I can disagree with you stressing, but it's a waste of opportunity when you could be channeling that energy, Knight of Wands here, into something far more productive. Now, the question with that is, I don't know what productive. That's why you play. That's why you're just to be creative, make something, do something, perform something, whatever your creativity is, whether it's a 7-second TikTok video, although I think they're longer than 7 seconds. I'm thinking of Vine, which is dating me. Or it's a 5-part magnum opus orchestral piece that you're creating, or whatever. You know, do something creative, and the creativity will inspire the next path forward. Because when I was first looking at all of this, I was seeing with Queen of Swords here and Queen of Swords out of the Demon Possessed Tarot, yeah, there is something that you need to cut out. And that prevalence of the Eight of Swords energy, but Eight of Cups, sorry. But the Eight of Cups is opposing you here. Maybe you are involved in something that you shouldn't give up on, although you have to check your commitments to make sure that they are good and clear and above level, and you know that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Because there is a victory in these commitments for you, but you have to be very, very careful that you are not allowing these commitments to hinder you, to hem you in. So that victory might be going, you know, I'm not committing to doing this with you. I'm going to go off and do it myself. It might be that. Or it might be, I am going to commit to doing this with you, but can we just go through the paperwork, please? You know, so that you know where you are. Because stress, again, how you are feeling, Eight of Swords. But it's almost like the two swords are blocking the six on this card. And if you think of the Six of Swords, it's going on to a better place. And the Two of Swords is not seeing something. I've never noticed that in this card before. Normally I go, oh, what a wonderful geometric design that, you know, that would look lovely hanging in the hallway. But no, it's almost like there is something that you are blind to that is blocking you moving on to a better place. But there is a dream here with this Knight of Cups that you're thinking, you know, actually, there is something I would like to go forward to do, but I've got no idea how to do it. To a certain extent, stop mulling over it, play and create. Put your energy into something that may be applicable to this dream of yours, may not be. But if it is, you know, if you want to put your energy into something that is applicable to this dream of yours, do it. Even if you are concerned that it might amount to nothing, do it. I think you're going to find it wonderfully liberating. And there's going to be an excellent sense of renewed purpose, which is what is missing here. But you are deliberately being shown the world all topsy-turvy at the moment. This is calling you to find your right place in the world, because, as I say, the stresses that you have been facing, they are in the past. And people around you have pointed out that, yes, they're in the past. You have to realise your own inner light, but you're so concerned about what has occurred in the past. It's like, it doesn't matter what option I take, it's all going to go to ruin and I'm going to end up losing. But you don't have to. That Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords on the final outcome card, indicates a lot of forward movement, a lot of progress, but that progress starts through play and starts with you seeing the truth of the situation. The god force that's uplifting you here is Apollo, the god of light, prophecy, truth. You know, so that's his illuminating these commitments that you have. So maybe in the new moon, this new moon in Gemini apparently is really, really good for truth. And one astrologer I was watching said, do not tell a lie on this day. You know, you can withhold, but do not lie. It will be found out. And so maybe there's an aspect of you can find out if and where you have been lying to yourself about something, or you've been lying to yourself, or someone else has been lying to you about the commitments that you are in. Or you may feel, because there's this sense of, I've had enough of this, you know, with these two Eight of Cups here, examining everything, you may find out that it's actually a lot better than what you thought it was. And you can put this torment, this ruin, whatever it was, in the past. You don't need to keep stressing about it, because you are locking yourself and you are preventing yourself from moving forward. Because Princess of Discs, there is an element of it's time to level up, and this is what you can do at the end of this process. But remember what I've said, examine your commitments and play. This dream that you're so tempted to walk away from but feel that you can't, really examine it. Why can't you walk away from it? Why did you have the dream in the first place? Is it just that you're a bit fatigued and you need to rededicate yourself to this dream? Because there is certainly a dream here with this Knight of Cups. So I think that, yes, you do need to, well, cut something out with these two Queen of Swords here, certainly. Now, for the Queen of Swords out of the Demon Possessed Tarot, we have Andrialphus. Teaches geometry and measurements, increases one's intelligence, and can transform a person into a bird. So, maybe you want to ask Andrialphus for help, because I love that image of can transform a person into a bird, and he can increase one's intelligence, because you are being called to look at things, but look at things from a point of fun and from a point of creativity. Look at these commitments and go, oh, how can I make them better? See what it is that you need to cut out. Is it the dream that you need to cut out? Or is it that sense of disillusionment with it that you need to cut out? It's one or the other. It is an either or. By the end of this period of time, you want to be full on dream or full on something completely different. You know, that's be 100%. One way or the other. You can't get there right now, and this is telling you the process of how to get there. So the angel energy covering over this is the Angel Prince of the South. I let go of all pain and tension as I float in the sea of divine love. Rather than stressing, Ten of Swords, Eight of Swords, Eight of Swords, Ten of Swords, rather than stressing about this, Aries, how about spend a bit of time trying to not give a hoot? One way or another. Doesn't matter, you know. Yeah, I said be 100%. That's at the end of this process. But spend a little bit of time not giving a hoot one way or another. That will open up your creative flow and allow you to play and be creative, and also allow you to transform into a bird and have that bird's eye view of the situation after you've had a break from stressing on it. So literally, I can't say that phrase in the way I would like to because it's YouTube, but don't give a hoot. Just for a day or two. Maybe not give a hoot on the day of this new moon, and see what answers slowly float to the surface. Because when the stress and the tension come up, you can just go, I am not thinking about that today. I'm playing football, making a boat, writing my sonata, doing my TikTok videos, whatever, you know. I'm sure there must be a spiritual aspect to TikTok videos. I don't have a high opinion of them, but it's a creative process, and there are some funny ones apparently. So we have look at the bigger picture. You know what I was saying about take that bird's eye view and definitely examine what these commitments are. Bring love into the situation. Now that's an interesting one because we've also got that Knight of Cups here. So whatever this is that you're stressing about, I don't believe it is a love relationship, but maybe you should open yourself up to a love relationship if this stress is causing you to block it. Because I let go of all pain and tension as I float in the sea of divine love, you are in the right place. This is... It's not one of those... Right, it's not like a training moment. It's not an initiation moment. But it is like you've been pushed into the deep end of the swimming pool. Let's see if you swim. But things are murky. And things are supposed to be murky right now with that Venus square Neptune. Because there is a benefit in that murkiness. There is a benefit in the questions that you are being forced to ask. And then finally, and this might bring us back to either that creative process or the love aspect, excuse me, be bold and make the first move. Cardinal moon. Quite appropriate with you being a cardinal sign, that go ahead. So, from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, we've got fear and extremes. Well, we've discussed the fear. The fear is definitely blocking. The fear is something that you need to work on and get rid of, one way or another. Because the cause of that fear, it does look like it's in the past. It's finished. Ten of Swords of how other people are influencing you. I am not the only person to say, look, that's not happening anymore. It's finished. It's done with. It's over. And Ten of Swords here in your past. And yes, I know I read the Celtic Cross back to front, but that's my past, that's my future. There's the other thing you need to beware of is extreme actions. Because I think you're going to be confronted with extreme circumstances, but do not react extreme in the same way. Another reason for that creative process, to channel your energy and make sure you do not burn yourself out. That's the warning of that High Priestess of Fire. But also, no, I've forgotten what the also was. It's gone. Right, so don't burn yourself out. Yeah. But also, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, was where I was going with all this Eight of Cups energy going on. Because this Eight of Cups energy is a block. So either do it or don't, but in a calm, measured, reasonable fashion after you've taken a break by doing something creative and just let the subconscious sort it out for a while. You know, when people say sleep on it, you know, you can work it out and work it out and work it out. But major decisions, I will sit and I will mull and I will work out, well, what if this, what if that, what if the other? And I will come to a conclusion. But if it's a big thing, I will then always have a night or two to sleep on it first and just see, okay, that's how I feel now. After 4 hours of stressing about it and working it all out and examining it, now let's see if I still feel that way when I get up tomorrow morning. And we have Chesed, the right hand of the Tree of Life, empathy. Which I think is something to do with your commitments. Because the one thing that is, there's obviously some wounds here with these commitments, because the archontic mask of the gods that's trying to force you down and keep you separated from your higher self, your divine purpose, blah-de-blah-de, woo-woo terms, whatever you want to use. We have water nymphs with feelings, and so there is that big emotional stirring, and again with that Eight of Cups, you're walking away from the water. Some of these emotions you need to dive into. Some of these emotions you need to dive into by not paying them any attention for a while, playing, being creative and sleeping on it, and then see how you feel in the morning. I knew there was a reason for me telling that story. So, all in all, I think this is quite a testing time for you. But it's setting you on a good path. Now, this is quite a brief reading time span wise, and the new moon can last for apparently this time 2 weeks, because we've got the lunar eclipse coming up on the full moon. But obviously the new moon in Gemini can link to the full moon in Gemini, or then it could link to next year's new moon in Gemini. But this seems like quite a fast process. Use those new moon energies this weekend. And of course, if you're watching this after the event, nothing wrong with you doing the process as well. But I would use a new moon to do this process, to be quite honest, because it is opening that space. It is that void card out of whichever one of those two oracles, the two moon ones, where things can be created. So I think for this decision process, a new moon would be really useful. Right, I have got very little more to say, Aries. If this means anything to you, comment down below. Please press the like and subscribe button on your way past. I'll be very, very grateful. Join the Facebook group, because you can then contact me directly if you're interested in a personal reading, or you will see the astrology videos that I post. There was something else I was going to say, but it's gone. You can weather through this. This will be fine. It's going to take a bit of time, but it will be fine. Cheers.